restrictions.
Step in the quest for the Calder Cup tonight with Game 1 of the North Division semifinals against the Toronto Marlies.
And much like Game 1 of the last round, the team is on the road to start things off. And so fans will gather at 72 Tavern and Grill to cheer them on from afar. And that is where we find Sports Director Spencer Davidson joining us live to get us all ready. Spencer, good evening.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we still got a little bit of a ways until puck drop, but we've got some early birds here already enjoying the food and drink here at 72 Tavern and Grill. Fans expected to keep trickling through here over the course of the next hour. The Comets are north of the border for the second time in just over a week, this time getting set to begin a best-of-5 series against the top team in the North Division. Now, joining me to break it all down is Comets Vice President Adam Pollock. And Adam, Comets swept best 2 out of 3 against the Laval Rocket. They started out with a big win on the road, came back here. Obviously, we know what happened in that thrilling comeback win. So just what did you like about that Laval series? Obviously, you know hockey. What did you see?
Yeah, well, I'm a little superstitious, so I like that we're doing this again before Game 1. So, but, I mean, you and I were just talking about it off air. I think it was a perfect Game 1 in Laval. That was a rowdy environment, 10,000 fans, and they really just stuck to their game plan and didn't allow them to really get the crowd involved at all with a Dawes shutout. So I think these guys are just playing at a different level. It is, we talked about it last time, the playoffs is just different, and I think the guys kind of risen to the occasion, and excited for Toronto. I think this is going to be a fun series.
Yeah, and we're talking about Game 2 when the Comets did come back. 2 seconds left in the third. Then they go on to win it in overtime. I mean, just being there at the odd, for you, being a hometown kid, what was that like?
It was exciting. That building was loud. I mean, you were there. It reached a whole other decibel level, it seemed like, with 2 seconds left in that Riley Walsh goal. So for them to be able to cap that off in overtime, and again, the crowd stayed through the 3 stars and everything, and just the support that we had, and the guys had on the ice was awesome.
You mentioned, obviously, you're expecting this to be a good series. Toronto, been very good throughout the regular season, but struggled towards the end. This is a best-of-5. They're the top team in the division. They haven't played in a couple of weeks now. What are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, I think this is a big one. I think the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm sure that's what Coach is telling the guys now, is they haven't played. They haven't played in 2 weeks, and it's almost a role reversal from us last year. We had that layoff with an extra week for COVID, and then had to wait for that 5-4 series to finish up. So I think jump on them early, but the regular season they didn't finish the way they wanted to. They were kind of in, and they're just waiting for playoffs. But playoffs, anything can happen. So the slate is clean again.
All right, awesome. Adam, thank you for your time. Enjoy the game. The Comets will try to hop on the Marlies here in Game 1 at 7 o'clock. Again, fans will be trickling through here for the watch party for the next hour. Coming up at 6, guys, I will have more on this matchup. Until then, I'll send it back up to you.
All right, Spencer, thank you. Did you hear that? Our live interview at 72 is now part of the superstition.
Oh, I think we got to keep doing this, right? No pressure there. Big weekend for Cooperstown next weekend. UKT.
Good evening. 2 wins down, 14 more to go. I am here at 72 Tavern and Grill in downtown Utica as fans are gathering for a watch party to take in Game 1 of the best-of-5 North Division semifinals between the Comets and Toronto Marlies. Now, much like the Laval Rocket in the last round, the Comets won just 1 of 6 regular season meetings against Toronto this year. Now, that clearly didn't matter, though, last round. And so the Comets are looking to capitalize on a Marlies team that struggled late and has had to wait nearly 2 weeks since their last game action. A solid start is crucial, as taking at least one of these first 2 games in Toronto would give the Comets the chance again to come home to close things out. The Comets are heading into this series with some confidence now and are looking to set the tone right from the opening drop.
We feel like, we've been comfortable on the road all year long. We feel like the game in Laval was a good template for how we have to play. We've got good leadership. I think it starts there. They understand how we have to play, and I think we all understand as well that we're going up against a heck of an opponent here. So you have to be ready for adversity. You have to have some consistency to your game, and we let the chips fall, but I like the way we're going into the series.
I think our momentum is huge. We're playing the right way. We got momentum. We've had some days to rest to practice, but we're still fresh off the series. I think that's going to be the biggest point we've been talking about is that first period, that first couple shifts, first 5 minutes. Really just throwing it down low and grinding them down, making them know that it's going to be a long series for them. They've had almost 2 weeks off. We know how that felt from last year. So using that experience, Rochester got a quick 2-0 lead against us in our own building. Luckily we built it back and found our legs in the second, but we know that going forward. Their first period might be sluggish. It might not, but once they get that first period in, we know they're going to kind of find their game a little bit more, but it's up to us to really take it to them in the first few minutes and into the rest of the game.
Game 1 of the North Division semifinals gets underway tonight at the top of the hour. Also coming up tonight, Game 5 in the Battle of the Hudson as Akira Schmidt and the parent club New Jersey Devils host the rival New York Rangers at The Rock with the series tied 2 games apiece. Starting to fill up here at 72 Tavern and Grill for the watch party. Game 1 at 7. Enjoy the game, everyone. I'll see you tonight at 11.
And now, from the Sports Station, powered by Hamilton Orthopedics Spine and Sports Medicine, here is News Channel 2 Sports Director Spencer Davidson.
Good evening. 2 wins down, 14 to go. The Utica Comets began the next step on their Calder Cup playoffs journey with Game 1 of the best-of-5 North Division semifinals against the top seed Toronto Marlies. To Coca-Cola Coliseum, Comets now back in the same spot they began the postseason last year, only this time they're the underdog. In 6 regular season meetings with Toronto, Utica won just once, but the Marlies are coming off an 11-day layoff since their last game action. First period, Comets get the start they were looking for. On the power play, 6 minutes in, Riley Walsh from the point, another big-time goal as he stays red hot. Goals in all 3 playoff games so far. Utica strikes first. Later in the frame, team skating 4-on-4, Graham Clark. If you give him space, he'll make you pay. Quick shot from the circle, and the Comets take a 2-0 lead. And they keep it going in the second. Just 2 minutes in, Mason Gertzen from the blue line. Xavier Perron right there to bang home the rebound back door. Comets in total control at this point and lead by 3. But things can change quickly. Marlies with 2 goals in less than 90 seconds to make it a 1-goal game. Then on the power play, Logan Shaw, the one-timer, and this game is tied heading to the third. More than midway through the period, who else but Walsh again on goal from up top, and it goes in off a deflection. The D-man taking over on the offensive end with his second of the night, 4th of the playoffs. Utica back on top. But the Marlies respond 35 seconds later. Shaw with his second off a feed from Joseph Blandisi, and we're right back even at 4. Then a minute later, off a blocked shot, Semyon Arguchintsev turns and fires from the slot. Nico Dawes never saw it, goes through his legs. Marlies now have their first lead of the game. But you can never count these Comets out. Under a minute to play, net empty. Alex Holtz on the dot, rips it, and that pinballs its way to the back of the net with 51 seconds left. Utica ties it up again, and we're heading to overtime. In the extra frame, turnover in the neutral zone. Here's Blandisi, waits, and ends it. A wild game to start things off. Dawes did all he could in goal, but it's a heartbreaker for the Comets as they lose 6-5 in overtime.
Obviously, we got out to the start we wanted to. We knew, they hadn't played in a couple weeks, so we knew we were going to take advantage of them, or could take advantage of them, and we did. So we just got to learn to, manage the game a bit better. We kind of fed into their offense. We gave them. We know they like to get on the rush, and that's how they play. And we just had a couple of irresponsible F3s in our zone, a couple pinches here and there, and like I said, we just fed right into their game, and then crazy seesaw game the rest of the way, and unfortunately we came up short.
So a tough loss for the Comets tonight as they now trail the best-of-5 series 1-0. They'll look to regroup quickly here as Game 2 is back in Toronto on Saturday with a 4 p.m. puck drop. Other local scores tonight.